everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be going over 5 things that great women look for on a first date. Tall, rich, and handsome are probably what you're thinking. I can already see the comments coming, and that's probably true for a lot of women out there, but great women look for far more than just those things. So today I'm going to cover 5 things that great women look for on a first date. And keep in mind, first impressions are really important and something that you guys should all be considering when it comes to that initial attraction and first impression on a first date. Take it or leave it. If you don't care about making a good first impression or you don't want a great woman in your life, I'm not sure why you clicked on this video. Number 1, as silly and simple as it sounds, is effort. A little effort can go a long way and does not go unnoticed, especially when so many people aren't doing it. And this goes for women too, and something that you guys should be looking for when you go on first dates. The other person should be putting in effort. That's like bare minimum. So when it comes to what women are looking for, this could be in regards to, did you plan the date? And also when it comes to the way that you show up to the date, because showing up is more than just showing up. It's how you interact, it's how you carry yourself, it's the way that you show up physically. Call it shallow if you want, but putting your best foot forward is really important, again, especially for those first impressions and initial attraction. Taking care of yourself inside and out is very important and something that I would recommend all of you to do, not even necessarily to impress anybody or to make a good first impression, but just for yourself. You don't have to look like a celebrity that just walked onto the red carpet, but you should absolutely be putting in effort and working with the cards you've been given. Get your grooming habits in check, make sure you've got your style on point. I have plenty of videos that have talked about that. If you need a little bit of help, definitely be sure to go check those out. And when it comes to showing up personality wise, don't be sitting on your phone the whole time or being completely distracted. You should be asking her questions and trying to get to know her, and she should be doing the same. Number 2 here is going to get some people rumbling down in the comments, and that is chivalry. Remember, we're talking about great women here. If you go out on a date with a woman and she gets mad at you for opening the door, maybe reconsider who you're on a date with. Great women still appreciate chivalry and will definitely notice this if you do it on a first date, and will probably be looking out for it. Being a gentleman and being kind is incredibly attractive, whether this be holding open the door or footing the bill. Whatever it looks like for you, you can figure out what that dynamic is like between you and the person that you're out on a date with. Again, I've done many videos about first date tips and etiquette and all of that, so definitely be sure to check that out if you want a little bit more of an in-depth explanation for this one. But really, generally speaking, be chivalrous, be a gentleman. It will only not land well if that girl is not a good match for you. So just something to keep in mind. Again, if she gets mad at you for trying to pay the bill, or she gets mad at you for holding open the door and calls you a misogynist, well, maybe run for the hills. Number 3 is genuine interest. And this one can kind of tie back to showing up and the way that you show up, not just, physically, but also, are you showing genuine interest in getting to know her, or do you just want to sleep with her right away? Or are you on your phone and distracted or looking at other girls while you're out at a restaurant with her? I mean, there are so many different things that go into this, but I really think showing genuine interest is something that she will definitely pick up on and notice. Women are very attentive to detail, and if you show interest in her, chances are she's going to notice it and be looking for that on a first date. When you're on a first date with someone, the whole point is to get to know them and see if you're a good match. So if you're not doing that or acting interested at all, it's going to be a huge turnoff, and you're probably not going to get a second date with her. So act interested. You can give a compliment. So if you are genuinely interested, this should drive the conversation pretty naturally, and you'll easily be able to see if this person is a good match for you. So why do women look for this genuine interest? Well, we all want to feel desired, so this is an obvious must-have on a first date. Ask her questions and then actually listen to what she's saying instead of talking about yourself the whole time or thinking about what you're going to say next. I see a lot of guys make this mistake, not because they're narcissistic or full of themselves, but just because they might be a little bit nervous. So make sure you're asking her questions. There should be some equal sharing going on. You should both be going back and forth and talking and seeing where you're compatible, seeing if you have a connection, see if you have mutual interests and things like that. So genuine interest will naturally drive this, and it shouldn't be too difficult for you. Another thing here is to give a compliment. I was actually reading a study done of things that women like on a first date, and obviously one of them was compliments. It doesn't have to be, "You're so hot." Actually, I would recommend not saying that, but maybe, "Wow, that dress looks amazing on you," or "Your perfume smells amazing," or something like that, where you're giving her a compliment, but it's not sexualized, right? So again, showing that genuine interest and being curious is something that she will definitely notice. Number 4, responsible and secure. A lot of things fall under this category, but I'm just going to name a few of them. If you're going out for drinks or you're going out for dinner and having drinks with dinner, I recommend not getting any more than 2 drinks, even if you're not a lightweight and you can handle yourself well. I just don't think it's a good look to get more than 2 drinks. It can often make you come across a little bit sloppy sometimes, or that maybe you have a bit of an alcohol problem. I hope that that's not the case for all of you guys, but I've seen it before, and I would just really recommend not going past 2 drinks. I would argue that carrying yourself well and looking presentable goes into this one as being a responsible, mature adult who can take care of himself. Showing up on time is a good one here. Again, the effort and responsible and secure point kind of go hand in hand. I think it's important to show up on time if it's something that's important to you. Sometimes things happen and we might be a little bit late, but really do your best to be on time and show that you care, show that it means something to you, and that you've made it a priority instead of just a silly option. In that study that I mentioned earlier, the top thing that women want on a first date is to feel comfortable. And I do think that being responsible and making her feel secure are things that are going to make her obviously feel more comfortable on the first date, whether this be, the way that you're carrying yourself, the way that you're interacting with her, your mannerisms. So many things fall into this. Again, the drinks and making sure that you're presenting yourself in a positive light is going to make her feel more comfortable and let her guard down a little bit, which is going to obviously help you get to know her a little bit better and make the date go a lot smoother. So a lot of these points here go hand in hand, but I do think that being responsible and secure is a great thing to showcase on a first date because it's going to allow her to trust you. It's going to allow her to feel comfortable around you, to feel secure and safe, which are all things that women look for. And lastly, here are good communication skills. These great women aren't looking for the toxic bad boys or manipulative people. They're looking for someone who can effectively communicate what they want and what they need, that follow up if they had a good time on the date and aren't playing hard to get or playing all these crazy games or manipulating or ghosting or any of that silly, crazy stuff. Following up is going to show great communication skills and is also a bit direct. And believe it or not, women love this in a guy. When a guy can be direct and when a guy goes after what he wants, chef's kiss. So what else is included in good communication skills? Listening, asking her questions like I mentioned earlier, showing genuine interest, being able to communicate that. Another thing that we could talk about here is making plans and setting a time for the date and showing up on time and not being flaky or canceling a bunch. I mean, these are all things that women are going to notice, and if you do them right, they will make you stand out in a good way. If I don't hear from you the night after our date, I just assume that you don't like me and you didn't have a good time, so definitely don't be afraid to show interest and follow up. I think a lot of girls go home or leave a date like, oh my gosh, do I wait for him to text me or should I text him? And it's always really nice, and I can speak from personal experience when I went on a date with a guy and he texted me afterwards saying that he had a great time or would love to see me again. It was always very well received, especially if I was into him too. Alright guys, that is all I have for 5 things that great women look for on a first date. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. Let me know down in the comments what are some things that you look for on a first date. If you're a great guy, what are you looking for out there in a woman? I could definitely do a video about that as well. But as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.